This week in NintenDomain, Nintendo got a new president, and let's talk some old Nintendo cartoons.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Hey, paisanos, it's the NintenDomain podcast.
NintenDomain episode 118. We are your hosts. I'm Trey, the richest Koopa that's ever cooped Johnson.
I'm Jereme, miserable manicotti Mikowski.
Ooh, so miserable.
I'm John, the game master knitter.
Yeah, Captain John, the game master, and his weird dog with a bandana, the bandana dog. So yeah, for this episode's topic, of course, we're going to talk about 3 of those old Nintendo cartoons that maybe you saw, maybe you didn't. Super Mario Bros. Super Show, the Zelda Show, and the Captain and the Game Master, which will be on the second part of our show. But let's start off like we normally do and talk about what we bought or what we've been playing for the week. What do you guys got? I can go first because my list is pretty short. I bought Lightfall for $15. That game's really cool, actually. I enjoyed it. It's I think I got halfway through, but I haven't had time to beat. I wanted to beat it, but there was other stuff I've been working on, so I wasn't able to get through it. I was hoping to beat it before the show, but it's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun for $15. It plays really well. It reminds me a lot of, what do you call it? Celeste. Reminds me of Celeste, but it's not as, like, I don't know. Some parts aren't as forgiving, and some parts are harder, I guess. Or, like, some parts are easier, I would say. But it's, like, the same sort of thing. Like, super tight platforming. And you basically get to create your own, like, pedestals to stand on while you're jumping. And you can do it, like, 2 or 3 times while you're jumping. So there's, like, bosses where, like, you can't touch the ground, where you get to jump around and hit stuff, and you can only have so many up at a time. So it's cool. It's if you like interesting indie platformers, I say definitely check it out. I mean, that was my recommendation of the week last week because I couldn't get South Park, so that was the one that I ended up getting. But it's a good game. And I also, completely unrelated to video games, but I became a Patreon for Talking Simpsons, so that's cool. I got a whole bunch of extra shows to listen to. So I made the plunge. Nice. I made the plunge on that. So Jereme and I together support Retronauts individually.
Yeah. Well, we both support Bob Mackey, so...
Well, you support Jereme Parrish, though, because I think Retronauts is just him.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of stuff, I mean, this is news, but I just want to say it early. I'll say it early before we actually get to the news, but our frothing demand has increased. Did you hear that?
Really?
Yeah, Ikaruga is coming to the Switch at the end of May. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah.
And it's cheap.
And it's $15, yeah, which is badass. Because it's like probably $50 for GameCube. Even if you try to buy it used now, so that's badass. I'll totally buy that. But what I was getting at is I tweeted at Jereme Parrish because Jereme Parrish has he's been working on a vertical hand grip thing for the Switch, so you can play it vertical. Right. And I tweeted at him, I was like, hey, Jereme Parrish, do you think you'll have it done by the time this game comes out? The Ikaruga, because Ikaruga is awesome, and I really want to play it handheld like that, on the vertical. So I
never got to play it vertical on the TV, let alone.
Yeah, neither did I. Well,
I remember there being an article, I think it was on IGN, where they actually took a TV and turn it on its side to play it.
Yeah, because you can actually...
It might have been a computer monitor, but yeah, they did a sideways screen.
Yeah, because you can actually do that. You can actually put it in sideways, and if you can flip your TV, you can, But that wasn't really HD TV time. Like, a lot of people didn't have HD TVs, but it'd probably be easier to flip an HD TV, obviously, than a tube TV. But yeah, Ikaruga coming out at the end of the month. I'm super excited about that. That's nice. It dropped on Twitter, I think, like this week. I saw it. The girl who wrote the soundtrack for Celeste, I saw it on her tweet. She tweeted about it.
Nice.
But
was that game ever on anything besides the GameCube?
Yeah.
Ikaruga, I think it was re-released on Xbox Live, wasn't it?
It was. It's been on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and wasn't it on like Dreamcast before that too? And I think
it started on Dreamcast.
Yeah, because when I was looking for when I was looking for the news for it, like when it broke, I found pictures of a Dreamcast version of Ikaruga, so that might have been the original version. But yeah, no, it's a super cool space fighter game. I'm probably going to put one of the songs on the intro here, because I just did a new WART radio episode of Stage 1 music, and I did put the Stage 1 music from Ikaruga in there just because I was so excited that Ikaruga was coming out again. And plus the soundtrack is awesome. So it's a badass song if you listen to it on WRT radio and begin to get the game. But yeah, that's my purchase for the week. I haven't gotten either of those weird arcade classics that ended up coming out early, like a 10-Yard Fight.
There was another Johnny Arcade classic, right?
Yeah, that comes out tomorrow. That spy game.
Okay.
I thought about getting that. Mm-hmm. But the ones that normally come out on Thursdays came out today for some weird reason, like 10-Yard Fight and that horse racing game that we talked about last week. Those are both out now, so yay, I guess. But yeah, what did you guys get anything, or you been playing anything cool?
I didn't get anything new this week.
I also did not buy anything new this week. I've been playing a little bit of Dark Alliance, the game I bought for GameCube. It's actually pretty fun.
You finally got into that?
I mean, I haven't gotten too deep into it, but I played 15 or 20 minutes of it. But still, it was fun. Mm-hmm. It's a different kind of game I'm not used to playing. And then I kept working on... I've been playing Mario Kart Wii, the Wii version.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, going back to that. Okay.
That game's fucking hard, man.
It is hard, man.
that game's a bitch.
I was getting blue shells thrown at me on 50cc, like...
Yeah, you get hit by everything, I feel like.
line.
Yeah. Were you playing it with Mario, or were you playing single player?
I was playing single player just because I basically just was playing all these discs that I haven't played over the past couple of weeks.
Sure.
These games I never actually played, I just bought, and that was one of them. So I've just been trying to unlock stuff in it a little bit.
Do you remember
that game does have one of my favorite Mario Kart levels, though, Maple Treeway. I love that level.
Oh, you like that one?
Yeah, I played that one too.
Yeah, where it's like
has
a weird
levels
like
that aren't anything else.
Has like the fiddle song, and like you go through the one with like the leaf bunches, right? And there's like stuff in it, and there's like the Wiggler walking around too. Yeah, that level is cool.
From Mario Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. I really like the I always liked the mall. Like that was one of my favorite levels from that, where you can go up the escalators,
that was cool too.
and you can drive through the parking lot, and people are trying to parallel
I think
park, and they hit you.
The mall was on the 3DS version.
No, the mall was on the Wii. That was the Wii version.
But I think it was.
It was also on the 3DS version.
Oh
right?
yeah, no, it was originally. I was saying it was originally made for the Wii game, though. Yeah, they probably did the greatest hits version. It might have been on 7. Do you remember where you ranked Mario Kart Wii when we did our Mario Kart rankings?
I don't.
I know that was a long time ago, but I probably put it kind of low because it's not really my favorite.
I think I put it really low because I didn't own it at the time, and I hadn't been able to go over it. But it was above the Game Boy one, I believe.
Oh yeah. The Game Boy one is pretty low, even though I think I liked it a little bit better last time I played it. But yeah, the Wii one is hard. Like I don't know.
I'd have to go listen because I feel like I'm changing history by just going off the top of my head here. I don't think that
it's okay if you don't remember
the Wii very high because I did not own it. But I know I put lots of hours into it, and I got very close to beating 150. Or actually, I did beat 150. I think I opened mirror mode, but I didn't get very far in that.
I ended up unlocking everything on Mario Kart Wii, but interesting story. My Wavebird, the original Wavebird that I had, the light doesn't work on it anymore. Like when you turn it on, the light doesned come on. You know why that light doesn't come on anymore?
Why?
Mario Kart Wii. That's why. Because I got really pissed and I spiked it, and it ended up breaking the light on it.
Oh, okay.
So that's why. That's what happened to that Wavebird, the original Wavebird. Oh. That's why it doesn't light up anymore. Was because
that's
the Wavebird wasn't supposed to actually fly.
Well, I mean, Mario Kart Wii, it was one of those things where it was in first for the whole race, and I got hit by a blue shell last second, and ended up in 10th. I was so fucking mad. So it was kind of one of those just reactions. Where back when I used to throw controllers, I don't do that anymore. I mean, they're too expensive, and I can't afford to buy anymore. I think that was probably the last controller that I ever broke, was that Wavebird one. And I didn't even break it, it just doesn't light up anymore. It still works. But yeah, I think that was the last one that ever got broken, where I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. It's best to keep a pillow next to you or something. You can just throw it into the pillow, and then it won't hurt or anything. You can take your rage out, but nothing gets broken,
Make sure your cats are in a different room.
Well, don't throw it at your cats. No, I haven't gotten that.
Don't mistake them for a pillow, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten that pissed about a game in a long time, so...
I haven't either.
It's all that video game rage hasn't happened. Even though I do think I almost rage quit on a couple games. But
I wish I had a Wii sometimes for reasons like I wish I could use the Wavebird because I've been playing with the was it the Pro? Is that what it's called? The Pro controller on the Wii or the classic controller?
Yeah, the one. It was. I think it was originally. Yeah, I think it was originally the classic controller. But there's
the one
also
you
a
plug
classic
into
controller
the remote,
Pro.
It's got a little cord.
Yeah, it was.
But it works great and I prefer it to the tilty method, of course.
Mm-hmm. But it's not quite as good as the Wavebird, I think, for controlling Mario Kart. Wavebird is the best way to play. But yeah, if you had switched all your stuff to the Wii U and you're not playing it straight off a Wii, you kind of have to use a classic controller.
Well, I mean, I have the disc, so I could play it on a Wii if I had a Wii.
Oh yeah, you don't have a Wii. I forgot that.
I do have a Wii, but it's not at my house.
Okay.
I loaned it to my mom.
Oh, okay. They're pretty cheap. You can buy like ones as is for like $15 on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if they'll work or not, but you can buy ones as is, like whether they work or not. I got my second Wii for $30 with no cords, and I thought that was pretty good. So it's not a bad price.
That is pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, Mario Kart Wii
had all the stuff anyway.
What a shitty game. I just realized that I'm almost done with Skies of Arcadia. Like, I'll probably be done with it in the next, like, couple playthroughs. Like, I was looking at a strategy guide, and I'm real close to the end. It pretty much depends on how much of the, like, secret bosses and stuff that I want to do, because there's extra, like, bounties and other secrets that I can go find.
How many episodes have you done now?
Well, there's 15 up, but I did 2 more that I haven't posted yet. I did 2 more.
They're between 2 and 3 hours each.
Yeah, I did 2 more episodes yesterday. I recorded 2 more Skies of Arcadia stuff, but I'm almost done. Like, I was looking at a strategy thing online, and I think there's only because I have all of the rocks or all the gems or whatever for it, and the crystals. I have all the crystals except for the white one, which is on the moon, and I think the game ends on the moon. So, and supposedly from what I looked online, that's pretty much it. So I just have like one more dungeon to go through, and then there's some boss stuff, and I'm done. So I'm kind of pretty close. I could probably beat it in the next couple playthroughs. I might try to do it. I might try to beat it this Sunday. So that's cool. I'm almost done with Skies of Arcadia. I got like 40 some hours in it. I think that's what's on the save. So I've been cranking away on that one. That'll be my first scratch off for my RPG list. I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I should just wait till I beat that, and then I'll buy like South Park and play through that after that. So that'll be my checklist thing. I'll be like, you got to beat this game before you can get this other game. Yeah, that'll be it. That's what I've been playing on that.
I guess I didn't buy it, but I did start playing a new game I haven't mentioned the Ardu Boy in a while. I know I used to talk about it all the time, but
yeah, you used to love Ardu Boy. What happened between you two?
I mean, I still do. I still write for the magazine and stuff, so that's still happening. But there is a big game by the team that made a lot of my favorite games, Team ARG, and they made this game called Arduventure, and they wanted to make it really cool, so they had a Kickstarter campaign where you could get a special edition Ardu Boy that was like black and gold instead of this like Game Boy Color pretty much that I have.
Yeah.
And you got that, and then it was preloaded with the game, and that's kind of how they helped fund the game to make it better. Well, just like all other Ardu Boy software, or just Arduino software in general, it was made free. So I got a hold of it, and I've been playing it the past couple of days, and it's kind of fun. I mean, for what it is, of course. But it is an RPG. It feels a lot like Pokemon, the first Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Like blue or red.
Sure.
Except you don't collect any of the enemies you fight. And I don't know what to think of it so far. It's super basic, but it does have leveling up. It has items. You can equip stuff, weapons and armor and amulets and all this stuff. And I haven't gotten too far in it, but the only boss I fought, I just went into a room and there was a sign that said, "Warning, boss," in the chest. Then I opened up a chest and it was the boss. So I hope that the other levels are more involved than that, but it's still kind of cool that on this little tiny thing to be playing a fully fledged RPG, even if it's like an NES era RPG.
Now, can you not save on the Ardu Boy, or is that only the big
You can
boy?
save.
You can? Okay. I was going to say, like, how long is it?
It has EEPROM on it, like a NES cartridge.
Okay.
A similar kind of thing.
But you can only save one game at a time? Is that how it works? I thought there was some sort of limitation to it in that regard.
Yeah, I think you can only save one game. Supposedly, well, yeah, you can only save one game.
Okay.
So I have 2 of them, so I could load it on 2 and do it that way. But
oh, sure.
It's free, though, so in case anybody listening has an Ardu Boy, it's free. And there's like bugs and stuff in it, I guess. I haven't run into any, but they plan on fixing those. But this is the version that everybody got preloaded. So they just wanted to start at the very beginning with the same version that everybody else has. So they're going to fix the bugs eventually. But so far, I'm at level 3 and I'm getting stronger. And I have a sword and I have some armor. And I can't beat the first boss yet. I'm not strong enough.
Do you get a party or is it just one person?
It's just one person as far as I can tell.
Oh wow, that's like one of the only few like turn-based games that only had one person was like Dragon Quest 1.
It's really bare bones.
I know that was a big deal. Yeah, where was the only one that didn't have it. Well, I mean, it was one of the first, but it didn't have a party. 2 was the first one with a party.
One of its big claims to fame is that it has a map bigger than Link's Awakening.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's as much detail crammed into the map as there was in Link's Awakening, but yeah, the overworld map's pretty big, and you can kind of go wherever you want at the beginning with certain limitations.
Well, that's
like
cool.
Go run into really hard enemies if you go too far or whatever.
Well, so I take it there's a lot of grinding in it then, right? If you're saying that you can't beat that boss yet.
As far as I can tell, there's a lot of grinding. It lets you save anywhere, which is cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's a great thing to have.
So you can just pick it up and put it down whenever. So I'm going to play through it, and I think I talked to the guy who runs the magazine today, where I chatted with him, and he said I could write a review for it if I want. So nice. I'm going to do that, I think.
What do you think the hour limit is on? What do you think it's like 20 hours, 30 hours? Like to play through the whole thing?
I have no clue. I've purposefully not looked at anything about it, thinking I might have to write a review over it. So I have no clue. But so far it seems really bare bones, and that's okay given the platform. But I'll know more later. That's probably, besides a little bit of Baldur's Gate, that's really all I've played besides Mario Kart this week.
Yeah, some of the stuff on Mario Kart's pretty rough, like what you need to unlock. Like I think there's like time trial stuff that you have to beat to get some of the characters. And I think maybe it was Funky Kong was the one that I broke the controller over, because you have to get a certain amount of stars, like when you win. Like it was one of the first, or no, the DS one was the first time that they did that, but where you get the rating on top of like whatever trophy you got. But some of the guys you have to get like 2 stars, 3 stars or whatever on like one of the hardest modes, and that was like that. It was like one of the hardest modes and probably like the hardest set of races, and I was like, But yeah, hopefully you get everybody unlocked on there. Have you gotten the Mii at least? Can you play as yourself?
I mean, I haven't played that much, and I didn't have a file on my Wii for this game. I had played it when it first came out on my roommate at the time's Wii, so no, I have like nothing unlocked on it.
Oh, okay. Because I think you get something like for every Grand Prix that you beat. About it seems like
yeah, I've unlocked some vehicle stuff. I think so far.
There's a lot of stuff to get. What I thought was really cool on that game, I'm sure I mentioned it in our Mario Kart episode, but whenever you play as a Mii, like all of the pictures in the background that are pictures of Mario turn into your friends. They turn into other Miis that you have, and I always thought that was really rad. Like, especially like if you go to the mall or whatever, and it's like, oh, hey, there's Jereme over there. There's John on the wall, or, whatever. I thought that was neat. Like that they would actually alter the levels and turn all the Mario characters into Miis if you play as a Mii. So like there's a Luigi level where Luigi's dancing with Daisy, and their heads get changed to Mii heads. It's amazing. So like Luigi gets turned into a random male Mii that you have in a random like female Mii head. It's awesome. Cool. I thought that was so cool. So it's like, it's that
attention to detail you get from Nintendo.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, say you have Mario Kart, but you don't really care about the Mario family that much. You can play as your Mii, and then all the levels turn into Mii levels and not Mario levels. So I thought that was a nice touch. Maybe that was why it ended up being the most highest selling Mario Kart game, right? Because I think that was the biggest one, right? Unless 8 has beaten it with the Switch, I don't know.
I feel like
pretty sure it didn't. Yeah, I think the Wii one is
it's
the
still
greatest
probably
of all
still
time.
Higher than the Switch
for sales.
Yeah, because that one's done really, really well. I know the Switch one has done well, but I felt like the
I'm
Wii
saying
one
between
was
the
like
Switch and the Wii U, it probably still. I doubt it still even adds up to the Wii install base.
Yeah,
and a lot of Wiis come with Mario Kart towards the end of its life?
I don't know.
They had a bundle. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure they had a Mario Kart bundle. Is you been playing anything else?
No, that's really it for the week. Yeah, nothing on the Switch really. I'm just kind of taking a step back from the Switch. I do want to get Tropical Freeze. I plan on buying that.
Oh, yeah,
not this next week, but the week after. I'm going to get it eventually, but it's out
this Friday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's out on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's out this week, so I was hoping that one of you guys would get it so we could talk about it in some way. next week. I mean, I already have it, so I already played through it and all that because I have it on Wii U. But I've seen there's been some stuff on Twitter about I don't know what website it was, but some game review thing. They gave the Wii version a 6, and they gave the Switch version a 9. There's like some
really
people being pissed about that because it's like, hey, it's the same game. It's like, did Funky really like
Yeah,
give it
Funky
3
was
extra
3
points?
man.
Yeah, it's funny because like the review, basically what they say is bad and what they say is good is like the same on both of them. You know, it's like platforming's too hard on the first one, and the second one is like platforming's really challenging and great. It's like, what? Okay.
Yeah, I remember with Funky, you get 3 things. He's worth 3 points because he's a surfer, he can fly planes, and he's a mechanic.
Oh, you get 3 stars for his hit points. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, you can
for
do
what he does.
On Donkey Kong Country Returns on 3DS. You get an extra hit point also. So they when they re-released it, they gave you an extra star, which I beat that one as well, the 3DS one. So, but it's cool because they made it a little bit easier, I guess. Because all those games are hard, but you know what? That's part of it. Fucking buck up and take it. Is what I say about that shit. I can deal with it.
Yeah, I like that. That's what sort of sets them apart from New Super Mario Brothers. Whereas that is a little bit on the easier side.
Sure.
The Donkey Kong Country games, the new ones, are much more challenging.
Yeah, but they're not. I didn't feel like they were challenging in unfair ways. Like I didn't break into
Not in
controllers
unfair
over
ways,
it.
no.
Like I didn't ever feel like. I mean, I know a lot of people bitched about the checkpoints and about how the bosses are really long, and I get that. Like that's why I never beat the game. It's because the final boss takes a really long time to beat, and I just couldn't do it again after I would play it for a while and get beat. You just get real discouraged to start over again.
If you're like spending 15 minutes to just get to the spot you keep losing.
Yeah, exactly. It can kind of discourage you, but that doesn't mean I think the game's bad. I think it's a great game. And there's some really, really amazing levels in there, and there's a lot of cool rhythm that you have to do to get through some of them. And once you get it, it's really, really fun. But if you guys end up buying it, make sure and buy as many lives as you can out of the stores. Like, just go ahead and buy 100 lives as much as you can, as soon as you can, because you'll need it. So that's what I
just
did.
load up on lives.
Yeah, you can buy them. Like, I think it's even Funky Kong like has a store, and you can buy shit from him. The only thing I ever bought was lives. That's all you really need. Like, you can buy some other stuff, like invincibility for like a couple seconds or whatever. The only thing I ever bought was lives, though. Just get your lives up, and then it'll make it less bad. You won't have game overs and stuff. But people seem to like it. You know, it's getting decent reviews, so got that coming out. Jump to the news then from there. There's been some notable stuff appearing on this eShop. So I almost dropped my Switch. I don't think I mentioned it last week, but both of the Megaman games are up there now. The Megaman collections. I don't know if you guys are interested in getting those at all, but they're both.
I think I've got that twice before.
Yeah,
so
I was thinking no on my part, but I might get the second one. I don't know.
These are available for download now?
No, they have release dates. They're all May games. So like. Stuff I forgot to mention last week. Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 are slated for release May 22nd. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection is up for May 29th, same day as the Ikaruga. Harvest Moon is on there. Was it Light of Hope? That's up there for May 29th. Also, there's a Harvest Moon bundle. Sushi Striker's up there for 608. And we talked about Wolfenstein having a release date, but I've been seeing around the web, a lot of people have been showing the price tag at $48, so... That's cool.
That's a weird price.
It's a weird price, but I saw it on Walmart and Amazon. So, I mean, that's got to be... Like, if you reserve it now, you can buy it for $48. So, I mean, that's cool. I like that better than $60. You know, I don't want to have to pay $60 for it, so...
Is that the same price as the Korg?
Yeah, $48, yeah.
Yes, the Korg is a weird price, you're right.
Yeah, you guys both bought that, right? Korg?
I bought 2 copies of it, right, yeah. See, we're on the same page.
I want
Korg 2 copies also. In case one of them fails.
Yeah, I bought an actual Korg keyboard, too, to go with it, because, you know...
That's nice of you.
Runner 3 is on here now, on the 22nd. That was a game that we talked about, was announced on like the very first Indies thing. the very first Indie Direct. had the Runner 3 on it. This is before the Switch was even out, and now it finally got a release date. So there you go. Was it Raging Justice? No, that's not the Crazy Justice one. I think no, it's just another like a beat 'em up clone. But yeah, no, that was the big thing that I wanted to mention. That there's like 3 Capcom games on there now, so that's pretty dope.
It does warm my heart. There's finally a football game, which I never thought I'd say.
10-yard fight. You can get it for $8.
Any system.
Get that shit, man. It's cheap. $7.99. 10-yard fight. I do want to play it. I'm just kind of out of money right now. So, but at some point I'll do a play of it and put it on YouTube.
I am right there with you.
Oh, speaking of stuff that I was playing, I put up the soundtrack to Labo. So if anybody's looking to find that rockin' Labo music, you can find it on YouTube. I put them all up there because, believe it or not, nobody did that. So it was like the golf story thing all over again, where like nobody had uploaded the soundtrack to that. So I put up the Labo soundtrack. Give it a listen. There's a bunch
of finding you.
Nice, Trey.
Are the people finding you like they did with the golf story?
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of views for it, and I've been getting all these hilarious comments that are like, "We waited years for this." I'm like, dude, it's only been out for like 2 weeks. But yeah, it's funny. But then there's people who are like, "Do this song, put this song in there," and I'm like, okay. It's easier than the golf story. And it hasn't completely ruined the game for me, because actually doing the golf story soundtrack kind of ruined that game for me.
I saw in Golf Story people would be like, all right, do the intense version of Putt 6 or whatever on this course. Like
I tried so hard to do it, I never could.
In the music.
Well, they wanted the Eagle Putt music, because they said it was different, but I could never get there. I could never get to the Eagle Putt. I got many birdies, but not eagle putts. I mean, anytime I would eagle, I would chip it in. I wouldn't actually... Getting it to the green and getting an eagle putt is really hard to do.
Yeah.
Getting an eagle is easier than that.
The chip and eagle is different.
Yeah. No, I can get an eagle, but getting a putted in eagle is really difficult, because you have to get to the... I mean, you got to get to the green in like 1 or 2 hits. Like, it's really ridiculous.
I'd say 2 hits max on a 5.
Oh, yeah. No, it is. It's hard. There was one that I got really, really close at, but I just couldn't get it there. But it was just hearing the music over and over again, like listening to it and editing it and posting it and all that, kind of killed the game for me, because every time I played it, I would hear this music that I kind of hated, because I guess I could have muted it and put something else on. But
what's after eagle? Is there a double eagle? There's got to be a...
Yeah, there's a double eagle. I think I got that. I think I got that too, or just got that when we were playing 2-player. But once again, not putting. It was chipping in. But speaking of Golf Story, Nintendo's new president likes Golf Story. Have you seen that?
He likes it.
The last thing he said, they asked him like what his like favorite new game was or something, and he said that he had been playing Golf Story. So he did mention.
Oh, that's a fantastic game. Have you guys heard of this Golf Story game?
Yeah, but Nintendo got a new president. Like, it happened right after our last show was done. So, curse of the podcast, we completely missed it. But it's I wrote his name down. It's Shuntaro Furukawa. Is the new guy. He was talking about a new mobile pillar. Did you see that? And he like wanted to make $100 million in mobile games or something like that. He was setting up a goal for that. So I'm like, okay.
Expect your Animal Crossing prices to go up.
Yeah, well, or like more releases. I mean, don't forget there's that Mario Kart one that's on the way for mobile. So maybe he's like talking about that. I don't know. But I mean, I forgot
about that.
I didn't really get that excited about the mobile stuff. I'm like, really? You want to do mobile? Come on, man. But apparently he's a fan. He's worked with Nintendo since like the early 90s as an executive or whatever. So he's been on the team for a while. So
I mean, he's like 46.
Yeah, he's like the youngest, the youngest one since Iwata, right? That's what I was saying. Yeah,
it was 42.
Yeah, and because what the guy before that was, what was his name? Yamauchi was much older when he did it. But yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, because I know what Kimishima, I thought he was going to stay on it for a while, but guess not. But yeah. Hope to see his face on some Nintendo Directs. That's always, always need faces for those videos that they do.
Well, I heard he's fluent in English, so...
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, so that'll be good.
When does he take over?
Yeah, I don't know when the date is, but that's been like a big news thing.
Oh, starting in June. Well, no, wait. That's when he... But yeah, he wants... I'm reading an article on VentureBeat saying that he wants... Yeah, like the third pillar you said, but he wants like one... Basically, he wants Nintendo to have a game like Pokemon Go, which a lot of people thought was Nintendo, but it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he also said that... he also said something about the 3DS and the Switch like living together. Like, that the 3DS isn't going anywhere. They're planning on having them both live... Or maybe it was Kimishima, but somebody from Nintendo said that speaking of the third pillar, there's going to be 2 pillars there. Like, they're saying 3DS isn't going anywhere. And they were talking about like that they felt like the Switch was like the home market, and it's not really to the point of where like it's not to the point of where everyone would have one. You know, there's like one per family, so they want to keep pushing the 3DS because the 3DS is very much like one per person, not one per family. So, and plus, they said that there's a better chance of parents buying a 3DS for their kids than a Switch because it's cheaper and more durable and all that. So I heard it official from the company saying that the 3DS is not going anywhere. They're going to keep pushing it. They're pushing it so much that Nintendo sent me an email for my birthday because, you know, like your birthday, you get like you get a discount or whatever. I got my 30% discount, and there wasn't a single Switch game on there. I was pretty upset. It's like it's basically all 3DS games and like maybe a couple Wii U games. And I have like all of them or don't care. You know, basically my only options are like Superstar Saga for $30 on 3DS, or like Monster Hunter Stories for like $30. That's like the only thing I want out of there. It's like, come on, guys, you can't throw me a bone for a Switch game. I mean, I might even consider getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe if they would have sent me a sale for that. I mean, come on, that game's been out since the beginning. I just couldn't believe there wasn't a single Switch game in there. I know like that Switch is pretty hot, and they probably don't want to do any deals on any other stuff or any sales, but still, man, come on.
I went back to my Wii U version of Mario Kart recently, and I've definitely put more time in the Switch version, which surprises me. I thought I played the Wii U version a lot, but I think I mostly just played online with my friends when they all had it when it first came out.
Yeah, we played some online
when I
stuff.
first got it, but yeah, we used to play online, but I've played it on Switch like more in the one-player mode to try to get all the medals and all the unlock all the stuff. Like, it's more fun on the Switch because it's portable.
Yeah. Did you?
I come back to it recently. I've been playing it almost every day this week, actually.
Yeah. Now that you've, did you grow tired of Rocket League? Now that you put over 200 hours into it?
No, I'm still playing Rocket League. Actually, last week Rocket League eclipsed Zelda as my most played Switch game.
Yeah, no, I saw that you have like over 200 hours in Rocket League. That's so many hours.
Zelda John, you're Rocket League John officially.
Yep,
I know.
It switched.
Switch.
Yeah, I think I'm at 225.
Wow.
Damn, dude.
I don't think I have that for anything on my Switch that I put that much. I think like the last
That's
thing
like the best $15 you ever spent or whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
15?
Yeah, $15.
That's the best $15 you've ever spent on a game, probably.
I'm like,
probably so. Yeah.
I think the last game I put over 100 hours into. Well, I put 100 hours into Zelda, but that was on Wii U, not the Switch one. But I was gonna say the last thing other than that was Dragon Quest VII. I put over 100 hours into that game also. It's my I think it's like my highest played. No, it's either like that, Pokemon X, or like Animal Crossing. That's like my number one Switch game or 3DS game.
I think my Splatoon 2 file's getting up there.
Yeah, I think I was only like 60 hours or something like that for Splatoon. But speaking of Splatoon, there's a Splatfest this weekend for the Turtles.
Which we gotta do.
Yeah, we should definitely do it. I don't know. Do you know who the first two Turtles are that are going at it?
Yeah, it's Raph versus Leo.
Okay, so you're like fuck Leo. So
yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Fuck Leo.
That's interesting. So they have a I guess branded Splatfest.
Oh yeah,
they're bringing in another brand. Wow.
Well, they did it for Splatoon 1 actually. They did a Transformers branded one. They did a Autobots vs Decepticon Splatfest.
Really? Are they using like Ninja Turtles graphics or I mean like showing the character?
Yeah, no, they're showing. It's basically based off the new show, I believe. So it's like the art from the new cartoon. Yep. Yeah, which I'm not really a huge fan of the new art of that. But, you know, whatever. They got to keep rebooting it every couple of years. I don't know if you guys ever watched the Nickelodeon CGI one, but that one's fucking phenomenal. That's probably the best Turtles cartoon I've ever seen. It's in its entirety on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, you can watch all of them on there. I totally recommend it. It's fucking amazing. It's probably the best. I think it's the best cartoon or the best Turtles cartoon there is. Rob Paulsen, who was originally the voice of Raphael, is doing the voice of Donatello now on there. Which is pretty awesome. Rob Paulsen, he did like the voice of Yakko and Arthur from The Tick. You'll recognize his voice. He did a ton of voices from the 90s. But
he's done everything.
He's got that video where he's with the dog. The dog, he's like, this is how you can tell when a dog loves you. Or no, he says, this is how I relax after a hard day. I pet my dog, and the dog's like going, like trying to bite his hand while he's petting it.
Rob Paulsen does? Like, I haven't seen that.
It's like, it just helps me relax after a long, hard day. Mm-hmm. You know, working. I just come home and I just pet my dog, and the dog's like trying to bite his hand the whole time.
Yeah,
I've seen that video.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but no, Turtles is awesome. They do a lot of cool parodies. There's like an Alien episode. There's like there's like a Mad Max episode. There's like a Big Trouble Little China episode. It's great. Watch that show. It's amazing.
Watch that show and then decide who you want to root for in your Splatfest.
Well, who's your favorite turtle, Jereme? Who would you go for?
Well, I always liked Raph because that's the very first
he's the
toy I ever got.
He's the bad one.
Because he's that damn in the movie. I mean, he had me there.
I got before I even understood. Like I was watching it, but I was only like 5 or 6 when it came out, and I was watching it, and I think it was my 6th or 7th birthday. I got Raphael for my birthday. Yeah, so he was the first turtle I had, so I decided he was my favorite. That's how I remember it. But later on, I remember like we liked Raphael because he was really sarcastic. That's what we said.
Well, he's definitely got he's definitely got an attitude.
We were happy that he was really sarcastic, and like we wanted to be like him. Me and my cousin Rob.
Did you say that? Like, were you trying to be funny, or could you just not say sarcastic?
No, I really said sarcastic because I thought that was the word.
Oh, okay. I was like, and I thought if it was like he's sarcastic because that's funny, but no, you just probably didn't know what sarcastic.
That's
was.
just I remember saying that for a long time and then being corrected.
Yeah, sometime
in grade school, but we used to say sarcastic when we were kids.
That's awesome. You should still say that anyway, just because. Well, my personal favorite turtle is Donatello. I love Donatello. He was like my very first one because when I first saw a picture of the Ninja Turtles, I saw the picture of the NES game, which shows basically a picture from the comic book, and they're all wearing the same colored bandana in the comic book at that time.
Yeah,
they're all wearing red bandanas, so we didn't know who was who. So we kind of just made up names for them, like me and like Nick and Nate, my 2 friends from grade school. We kind of just made up. We knew the turtles' names, but we didn't know who had the whatever. So we kind of picked them by weapon, you know. So like I remember they picked the nunchuck and the swords because those are the best weapons, you know. So basically, what I had to pick from was the bow or the sai, and I didn't want the sai, so I picked the bow. So Donatello became my guy. But if you watch the new cartoon show, the Nickelodeon one, Donatello's probably the best character out of all of them. I think he's awesome. He's like the super nerd, geeky guy. Like he has a crush on April. It's awesome. So he's got
the best weapon in that NES game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, he has the best reach too. Yeah.
You can like stand on top and like down stab.
You can.
Yeah, to get Rocksteady at the beginning.
Yeah. That's such a mean game. The game sucks. But no, Donatello's my number one. So it'll start off Raphael versus Leo. I'm totally for Raph on that. But the week after
I would pick Donatello over Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Also.
But if it comes down, if it comes down to Donatello versus Raphael, that'll be interesting. We'll have to be on separate sides.
It will.
So, but yeah, like the next 3 weeks they're doing this, and it's pretty rad. I love when all the Splatfest stuff that they do. But I'm totally into this one, and normally I just vote like on whatever side has more, but for this I actually care. Like I'll vote for Donatello. And
yeah, dude. Well, think it like in the past we've always thought we could play together. Now we know we can't, so it wouldn't matter if we were on different teams. We could still
we can just do separate ones where it's like I'm fighting for Raph, I'm fighting for Leo, or no, you wouldn't fight for Leo.
I wouldn't fight for Leo. I would let him go.
Even though they did make Leo kind of cool in the new CGI stuff because he's like obsessed with Star Trek. So there is like it's not actually Star Trek, but he does watch a cartoon that looks a lot like the Star Trek animated series from the 70s. So that's awesome. Like I thought that was really fucking cool. Like just and there's a whole episode that he has that's very reminiscent of like a Star Trek episode from the 60s. So I think it might have been This Side of Paradise that it was supposed to be, but it's been a while since I saw it. But they do cool stuff like that. There's a lot of like major deep cuts on nerd stuff in that show. So they did make Leo a little bit better. Plus he was voiced by the pie guy from the guy who fucked the pie from American Pie.
Jason Bixby.
Yeah, it was Jason Biggs, and actually he quit because he wanted to get a real job. Fucker, it's like, dude, you're making tons of money voicing a turtle. You want to do because he was on that fucking Orange is the New Black show, and he decided that he was cooler than Turtles after that because he's like, oh, I got a real role, and he was replaced by Seth Green from Robot Chicken. So, and it's funny, they do a whole episode about why their voice changed. He also got
booted off of Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, he did. I think right after he quit. But sorry, I got sidetracked on the turtle stuff. But Yeah, that show's awesome. So I followed a lot of that shit. But they do a whole episode where he gets like choked, and when he comes to later, his voice has changed, and that's like why it's a different person. It's kind of funny. They make a joke about it because they have a big fight, and he comes back, and he's like, "Oh, I can't talk the same anymore," and it's like yeah, you got recast. Then you're just trying to write it in there. But they do all sorts of fun meta stuff on there. But aside from the new president, what else do we got here? I wanted to mention this. I just thought it was kind of funny, but Sonic Forces, or Sonic Feces, as some people refer to it as, is on sale. It's like almost half off on the eShop. So if you want to spend $24 on like the best 3 hours you've ever had in your life, you can play. You can get Sonic Forces for $23, $23.99. It's on sale. It's 40% off. That's almost like $10 an hour. It's like a movie. It's like watching short movies. Totally worth it. Go get that amazing game.
It has really good cinematics, so it's like a movie.
Yeah, I know you always wanted to make yourself a Sonic character, so now you can for $23. I wanted to mention that as a joke, like in case anybody didn't have it yet.
What, a joke?
Yeah, to just be like, hey, you guys should get Sonic Forces. It's totally out now and on sale. I mean, don't get that. Or get it. If you really, really want to. No, don't get it. Stop encouraging Sega to make games like that. So
protest all Sonic games until they hand the keys over to Nintendo.
Yeah, really?
Or whoever made Sonic Mania, let them just do everything.
Well, you could just pretend that Mario and Mario Odyssey is Sonic, and then you have a Sonic game. I mean, he can roll. He can roll better than the Sonic can. I'm just telling you. It's pretty much true. Already there. What else we got? Oh, yeah, the Switch has been hacked. I don't know if you saw that. No. That was like a big deal. Apparently, that was one that we missed last week. A lot of other podcasts, and it's been in the news. Apparently, there's an unfixable hack. Like, you can't patch it. Like, it's unpatchable. And I guess somebody had mentioned it to Nintendo, or somebody had said, like, hey, you should take a look at this, and some hacker got a hold of it and figured out how to do it. It's some sort of attachment, I guess, that goes into the USB that makes it to where you can plug it directly into your computer, and you can put whatever sort of emulator or ROM on there that you want, and, make your own, put your own games on there. So, and you can totally break it, put whatever illegal shit on there. And, it seems to be a big thing. A lot of people are really freaking out about it. I don't really know a whole lot about, like, hacking logistics and all that, but, I mean, if it's as big as people are saying, then, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm not going to hack it. I'm not a hacker. I like to, like, support developers and all that stuff. I say don't steal games from people. Pay for your games. But a lot of people will, I guess. And if, it's been mentioned, I've read it in articles, but if Nintendo keeps pushing this whole virtual console thing, or not actually doing it, it does kind of give people the whole, like, gives them the drive to hack and just put their own NES games on there if Nintendo's not going to sell them to them. You know what I mean? Kind of makes it feel like Nintendo should just, like, get their ass in gear on that and get moving on.
Well, I think a big defense of hacking consoles is to be able to put homebrew stuff, because you own the console. Why can't you put software you write for it on there? Oh, sure. Or why can't you put your whatever software you want? So there's actually a lot of stuff going down now, and I've been following it a little bit, but is it the FCC who's like suing a lot of video game companies for claiming your warranties are void if you do anything to repair the console through a third party?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but that's
that's illegal according to like recent stuff that's been passed. So all the video game companies are being asked to remove labels and descriptors within their user agreements and software updates that void warrant that have language referring to voiding warranties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because you should be able to fix or tamper with your console however you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's been something. I mean, that's something they've done. It's like the same thing where it's like if you use any sort of third-party thing, it voids your warranty. Or if you ever have a problem, they're like, "Did you use a third-party controller or whatever?" But yeah, no, it's not really fair, I guess, on that behalf. But at the same time, they could also say like, "Hey, don't be fixing your console. Like, fucking leave it alone. Like, you're breaking it more by trying to fix it." Like that could be their defense on that.
I say the FCC. It's the FTC.
Oh, okay.
According to this article, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo have 30 days to get rid of the warranty void if removed stickers. So I guess it's not. I thought when I was reading the article earlier, it referred to the software as well, like where it referred within the software where it says stuff. But I guess it's just the stickers themselves.
I don't know. So they just have to stop producing or start producing them without it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because those are like false warnings. They can't really. The warranty is not voided if you remove that sticker. That's a lie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like the sticker on mattresses that you can get arrested for.
Right. I actually kind of want to find out if any of my consoles have that sticker. I don't see it on my Switch.
Yeah, where would it be? Like, I don't remember any stickers on the Switch either.
Unless it's on the dock somewhere, I don't think. No, because I bought an extra dock. Unless it's internal, like when you open it up. I don't say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't opened mine up yet. So we'll have to see. Let's see. What else do I got? Disgaea 1 got announced. That happened last week, but I forgot to mention it. Did you see that? They're doing a remake of that. The very first Disgaea. So now you can figure out where you're at on Disgaea 5. I'm sure that's why you haven't played it, is because you don't know what's going on with the characters, right?
Yeah, I pretty much decided, like, I'm not going to play all the way through it until I play 1 through 4.
Yeah, right. But 1's coming out. I don't know if it's any different, but a lot of people seem to like that one. He was on a couple of people's, like, 4-game lists that made them who they are or whatever, so who knows. But I think that's all I got for news. Is there anything else that I forgot that you guys know of? Or do you want to go to our topic?
I think that's about it.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's the news that I have for the week, that we have for the week. Anyway, let's take a break, and we'll be right back to, excuse some princesses or something.
Ooh.
Hey, paisanos! It's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show!
We're the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's our game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. If your sink is in trouble, you can call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers. Hooked on the brothers. Yo, you're in for a treat, so hang on to your seat. Get ready for adventure and remarkable feats. You'll meet Koopas and Troopers, the princess and the others. Hanging with the plumbers, you'll be hooked on the brothers. To the bridge. The brothers.
Well, excuse me, people. Let's talk about some of the really bad cartoons of Nintendo from the 80s and 90s. We decided to, John brought it up, said he wanted to do some cartoon stuff for Nintendo, and there's so many Nintendo cartoons out there that I felt like we should whittle it down to what I think are the 3 first, like, original ones, like probably the most memorable ones to me, but, of course, we could always do more in the future, but for this, we're gonna talk about an episode each of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, the Zelda cartoon, and Captain N. So that's what we'll be doing this week. Do you want to start with which one do you start with? Do you want to start with Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
I think that's the granddaddy of them, so let's do that one.
That's the biggest one. Okay.
Yeah. It's the most complicated one too.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff going on. So we decided to do, what is the episode? Cyrano de Mario / Raiders of the Lost Mushroom, right? This is the one that we were doing?
Yep.
And that's like episode 61. It's like almost to the end of the series. Because it was, like 63 episodes or something like that?
I've got episode 45. But you looked it up. That's what it said on YouTube. You looked it up on the...
Oh, I looked it up on IMDb.
Okay, that would be correct then.
Yeah. It says... let me bring it up. Yeah, IMDb says Season 1, Episode 61. Cyrano de Mario, Raiders of the Lost Mushroom. And I think there's... Let's see how many total there were. I'm right. There's 63 episodes. No, there's 65 episodes total of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. The final episode is Ghoul of My Dreams / Legend of Zelda, whatever that last one was. We watched the second to last one for Zelda. But, yeah. I didn't actually look this up, but is it true that Lou Albano was in... I think he was. Wasn't he in Cyndi Lauper's Girls Just Want to Have Fun music video?
He was.
He was.
I thought that was him. Yes. Got it right.
Here's something else that's interesting, and I just fact-checked it, but I want to make sure I mention it. In this episode, at the very start of Raiders of the Lost Mushroom, Mario says, Plumber's Log 1938, and that's the year that the Holy Grail was found by Indiana Jones in the Indiana Jones canon.
1938?
Yeah.
Oh.
So did they actually go back to 1938?
No, but just the references.
Oh, got it.
Plumber's Log 1938. That's the voiceover at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that Indiana Jones takes place around World War II or pre-World War II because there's Nazis and shit.
Well, that explains.
Yeah,
we'll get to it. But.
Yeah,
there's also Nazis in the Mario episode that we talked about today. So,
oh yeah,
sure are.
There Koopa and his Koopalings or whatever are wearing red armbands with a K in place of a swastika.
Yeah, that's some ideas.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia and apparently the Game Over book as well, it took the guys who made this show, it took them like over a year to convince Nintendo to give up their properties for it, or to give them the licensing. Which
and then they slapped Nazi armbands on their characters.
Well, and then they completely messed it up completely. Like in the intro of the show, it shows Mario getting a star and turning into Fire Mario. Like he basically dons the white pajamas, the white overalls. I was watching it with Jess, and she pointed that out. She's like, did he just turn into Fire Mario with the star? And I'm like, I don't know. And then we watched the Zelda one and the Mario one, so I watched it the second time, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, he totally did. So, and according to Wikipedia, it also said that was a mess up, that they mistook the invincibility star for the fire flower, so the star gives him fire powers. But that's the smallest of the mess ups. I mean, once we get to Zelda and Captain N, it just goes to hell from there. But
yeah, all these shows are produced by Deke, isn't it?
Yeah, DIC, right? Or Dick, however you want to say it. I always like to say, I like to say Dick because it's funny.
Humor
as
the 7-year-old
child
watching that. Yeah,
absolutely.
Hey, at the end of the show, it's going to say Dick.
I remember
they made sure that
every episode
a voice said Deke.
Yeah,
Deke, sure not Dick.
I remember seeing that logo on different things. Like I can't pinpoint exactly what it was, but I remember seeing it from my youth.
It was on a lot of home video releases.
Oh, okay. Then I probably saw it
like
there.
I watched like a lot of like Looney Tunes releases when I was a kid. Would be produced by Deke, like compilation videos, and then
was it on
like Ovid, which was like a Australian platypus that I watched a lot of his videos when I was a kid. Those were all through Deke.
They didn't do Muppet Babies, did they? For some reason, that reminded me of that. I don't know. That could just be like.
I think Deke like a lot of times syndicated stuff later. You know what I mean? Or
I think they did Muppet Babies. I remember that now.
But they're like the publishers of the video releases or whatever.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Inspector Gadget, I remember seeing.
Well, Inspector Gadget,
Turtles.
Inspector Gadget is actually on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, so that makes sense. Like he is a guest at one point, so that would make sense that it is under the same thing. The one I remember,
really, he was. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found it on Wikipedia. I was looking through some of the shows for guests, and Inspector Gadget was on there. But my middle name from earlier, the richest Koopa that's ever cooped. That's my line of the show from this particular episode. That's what Bowser says about when he's going to get the golden toad, that he's going to be super rich. I mean, that's better than what Mario gets from getting it. I mean, that was pretty weird also.
So what did you guys think of the live part at the beginning? Because the live part's, super campy, but I love the use of sound effects is just hilarious. How they...
And awful.
It's really, it's like gratuitous. It's gratuitous.
It makes no sense. No, it's all completely random.
Someone's sitting at a Mario soundboard and they're just like...
Yeah, no, that always bothered me because I felt like the audio mixing was so bad on it. Like, because it's like, you can hardly hear what they're saying. You can hardly hear what they're saying, and then there's all these like sound effects like going on top of it, like for no reason, and it's just like taking away from whatever bad joke they're trying to tell because all the jokes are awful, and it's like, yeah,
right. And the audience will laugh at a wrong moment, but then the dialogue continues, and the laughter is way too loud,
and you can't hear it. Yeah. It's awful. It's horribly mixed.
Level at which these people just really didn't care is on display.
It is, and that really like that one camera angle set they have. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's two camera angles, but
I mean, it very much looks like a set.
It's like the stairs that descend into the basement, and then you've got like another angle where you're kind of like a table.
Yeah,
there's an episode we kind of mentioned it as we were texting before the show where Magic Johnson shows up. He shows up at the door, right?
Yeah, I remember that episode. I think
he opens up. They open up a window. Oh, it's Magic Johnson. He's at the door. They open up a window to look outside, and very clearly, Magic Johnson did not show up on set.
Yeah,
they just filmed him separately.
No!
I filmed him in the window
because he's like
I watched that at the end of the episode.
He's
he says,
in the mirror.
Next time, you'll have to get a bigger medicine cabinet. So that was actually not a window. That was their medicine cabinet.
Yeah, because he's in the mirror,
Johnson
right?
Showed up in the mirror because he's magical.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see.
I think that was because I bought one of these or a couple of these on VHS at a junk store. Like it was either like a Goodwill or like Reckless or something. But I remember buying this in college and watching, and one of them had Magic Johnson in there, and yeah, he's never really there. Like, he's in the mirror the whole time because he's magical.
Or just spliced. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing, and I'm like, wow, this is really weird. This is really strange.
Because they'll be like, hey, it's Magic Johnson. And Magic Johnson will be like, hey, Luigi and Mario. It's great to be hanging out with you. Hey, is it okay if I practice my magic? It's like obviously it's.
Mm-hmm. Everything's very literal on there. Uh-huh. And all of it seems like most of their episodes are all like parodies of movies and whatnot. And there's always a song in there that they do like a different version of, like there was, what was it, Monster Mash or something that they did?
Monster Mash in this episode. No, Monster Mash was for the Captain N episode.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, that's a different thing. Never mind. Sorry, I'm confusing that with Captain N. Retract that then. But yeah, the reason that I picked this episode is because actually all three of these episodes were episodes that John and I watched in college or post-college or something. But I just remember all the weirdness of them. The Mario one in particular, Indiana Joe being a character on there, and he has no face. He has like absolutely no
face. Not only does he have no face, this is just never mentioned that he has no face. There's no reason for him to have no face.
Yeah, nobody says anything.
He just has no face.
Yeah, he's basically blank from Dick Tracy, but, without the eye holes and all that. And he's just, his face is just blank, like nothing there, no features whatsoever. And his gut is hanging out. And his shirt, like his shirt's up over his stomach and his belly's hanging out. And it's weird. It's very strange. And he just talks.
And he has a lot of catchphrases.
He talks weird, yeah. He speaks in a very strange and slow, deliberate way.
Yeah. Well, it's because he has no face. That's why. But yeah, really, really weird. Like
all the extra effort to actually speak without having
like when he first shows up and he rescues Toad from quicksand because they essentially you can tell this takes place in the Super Mario 2 USA. The Mario USA universe.
Well, it is. It's post. It's between 2 and 3 because. I believe
it started. Mousers and the snake guys.
Yeah, it started in '89 and Mario 2 was '88, I believe. So,
yeah. So they get attacked by that bird that drops the bombs on you in Mario 2, and they're riding in a hot air balloon. They fall into the desert. They fall into quicksand, and then Indiana Joe ends up rescuing Toad, and the first thing he says is "piece of cake, Jake." And from then on, you kind of get an idea of the kind of stuff he says.
Yeah, doesn't he also have a Koopaphobia? Like, it's the thing, he's like super afraid of Koopas because he disappears like when they actually do the fighting with Bowser.
So, and I want to say when he disappears, he goes and becomes a babysitter. So he's babysitting the three
that was
little
weird.
Baby Toads, right?
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, yep.
But then, okay, so Mario and the gang come and find him to convince him to get back to adventuring or whatever they're doing. And I noticed that they just abandoned the babies.
Yeah,
let's get out of here. They just leave 3 babies, the whole crew.
And it's not like a loose end or anything. It's just that he's like, fuck these kids, let's get out of here. Like, he definitely abandons the kids willfully, and they're like, okay.
Well, when he
shame on Mario, Luigi, Princess, and Toad as well for that.
Well, they're all like, they're all part of that.
Well, is that before or after? Because Mario goes into his babysitting place like after he tosses the sign. Do you remember he Indiana Joe pulls the babysitting sign off of the door and he like throws it into the water, and then Mario goes in there and then wishes for pasta. And the place gets filled by what looks like melted cheese or like melted butter or something. It doesn't actually look like pasta. It's just like yellow. Just like straight yellow light.
Yellow blob.
Yeah. It's
supposed to be spaghetti.
I thought it was a spaghetti.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like spaghetti. There's no strands to it. Or at least maybe the version I watched was bad quality. But it didn't look... It just looked like a big yellow mess. But are the kids still in there then when it gets filled with the pasta?
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that. Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Then they come back just to drown them in spaghetti.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are they in there?
I believe it'd be suffocating them.
Yeah.
Suffocating, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might be like really buttery spaghetti or something. Like buttered noodles that are so buttered that you can drown in them. I don't know.
So they drown and they suffocate. Terrible.
There's a part in this episode where, like John mentioned, where when Koopa's watching, right after Indiana Joe saves them, Koopa's watching them with binoculars, Bowser, as we know him. Mm-hmm. And he's wearing the armband. And he's got all the bosses from Mario 2 with the exception of a Koopa Troopa. Which I guess those are in Mario 2, right? No, just the shells.
Well, there's one that I thought he kind of looked like a Hammer Brother or something. That guy that's with him, like he's like a turtle. There's the shell.
He's some kind of turtle-based enemy. Mm-hmm. But they tell him that isn't that stealing when he says he's going to take away the statue. Yeah, they're all like, wait, isn't that stealing? You shouldn't do that. That's bad. So I thought that was kind of cute that just for a second there, his henchmen were honest, and he had to be like, "Oh, it's hard to find good henchmen these days."
Yeah, right.
Lots of puns, but they're bad.
Bad puns. Well, I mean, a lot of like just bad parodies of movies and all that.
Someone that knew nothing about Mario and was just told to write Italian food jokes.
Yeah,
wrote most of this script, I think.
Well, I can't believe that there's a Cyrano de Bergerac reference in there. How many kids know that? I mean, maybe they saw Roxanne, but I mean, like the part when Vanna White shows up later as Roxanne and Luigi has to tell him what to say to her. That's all Cyrano de Bergerac stuff.
Oh, it is? Yeah, I knew the Roxanne, play. Yeah. But I didn't know.
Well, I guess Roxanne too. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, her name in the fucking to reference the what's his face?
Steve Martin movie.
The Steve Martin movie. Yeah, I couldn't remember his name. Yeah.
I had mentioned at the top of the show, taking it back down a peg. Miserable Manicotti. Another one I really liked was Suffering Spumoni.
Ew.
Yeah, this was obviously written by people that were like,
these guys are Italian. All they do is talk about pasta.
Aspiring food writers that were assigned to the Mario game.
Well, in the Cyrano de Mario part, when Luigi, because like Mario like says that she looks like a meatball or something, and he's like, "Oh no, you can't say that," and he's like, "Well, I don't know how to be, I don't know how to be romantic or whatever." But then Luigi, when Luigi's feeding him lines, he's still like comparing her lips to like some sort of Italian dish. So they
your lips are like go back 2 on scoops that. Of spumoni.
Yeah. So he's basically telling him the same thing that he told him not to do. So Luigi's a hypocrite there. It's total hypocrisy on the Super Mario Super Show.
Yeah, Vanna White shows up, and she looks good. She looks like it's from 1989.
Yeah,
but
right.
I'm just wondering, like the guest stars that they got on this show. This was like they were like so random at times. Like the Vanna White, the Magic Johnson. I remember Sergeant Slaughter was in one.
Yeah, there was some WWE. Roddy Piper's in there also.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But I'm wondering,
Cindy Lauper
what do you say to these people to get them on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show?
Well,
I have to imagine that a lot of these people have kids, and they're doing it just because, they like Super Mario, and they want to see mom or dad on the Super Mario show.
Yeah, what if they were just, it was the lot they were like recording on, and it was near, like it was in proximity to like a spot where other projects were being filmed?
That's probably true, too. Hey, do you want to show up and make a few $1,000? Sure.
I mean, it's also a check, too. I mean, it's a check, man. It's a job. Like, if they ask you to come on, why not? I always figured Cindy Lauper was on there because her and Lou Albano were friends because of that music video, That's what I was thinking.
I think it's the Goonies video. No, it's. I don't think it's the...
no, it's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Look it up.
Maybe it's both of them.
Okay.
Because there was the one that was on the Goonies soundtrack.
Because he's like her dad or like her uncle or something. He's the one that she lives with in the apartment, and she brings all those girls in there, and he gets mad.
Okay, yeah. Then he was also in the Goonies one, because the Goonies one has
Not Good Enough.
The kids from Goonies and a whole bunch of the other wrestlers, as well as Lou Albano.
Oh, okay. Because when I used to go to the gym more often, I would run on the elliptical, and they had the TVs there, and one of the channels would just play 80s videos, so I would watch that channel, and I would almost always see that song, the Girls Just Want to Have Fun video, and it would have Lou Albano in there, and that's how I know. It's where my information from that came from. But he might be. I mean,
did
like I said,
Cindy Lauper ever show up on the Mario show?
Yeah, no, she was. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I think she was on there, was because she was friends with Albano.
She absolutely was, and I remember that because we've got it on video. Because when I was it would have been 1989. When I was in first grade, I didn't get home in time to watch Ninja Turtles. It started before I got home on the bus, so my mom would record it for me every day. But the Super Mario Brothers Super Show played immediately before that, so I would get like half of the episode of Mario the way she had the VCR set. So sometimes she would start the VCR earlier and I'd get whole episodes, but I know on that video there was an episode where Cyndi Lauper was there at the very end. We're like, do the Mario, and she's like standing there with them, and then it goes to the credits, and then some commercials, and then the Ninja Turtles started.
Now, apparently, they collaborated together a lot. Cyndi and Lou did to have helped usher in wrestling crossover success with the mainstream audience. So, I mean, they did a lot of shit together. So that makes sense. They probably had multiple videos together. Cyndi Lauper was on WWF at the time, so makes sense. But so that's why she's on there. But as far as like Vanna White and everybody else, I don't know. Like I said, it's just a check, just like any sort of talk show.
I really think it's got to be like a talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I guess so.
If they're in the town where it's being filmed, hey, do you want to swing by the Mario Brothers set for 30 minutes today and film? I mean, a one-shot take of two things really quick.
I mean, they
like
might.
The acting's terrible.
Yeah.
The Magic Johnson thing was obviously phoned in.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so they could be fans too. I mean, Mario Brothers was big.
That's true.
Nintendo. I mean, don't forget that like the NES was like the first like major system that people actually liked. I mean, there were a bunch of Ataris, but like the NES was big. It was super hot.
And that's back when playing video games was just called playing Nintendo.
Yep.
No matter what you're playing.
Yeah, it was back in the day.
All right, so I got a list of guest stars here. Just a couple of names. I'll point out some more recognizable ones. So Sergeant Slaughter. Who else? Let's see.
Rowdy Piper was on there also. I know that.
Yeah, Rowdy Piper. Let's see.
The rowdy one is what I used to call him back when I cared about wrestling.
Let's see. There's Vanna White. Oh, Moon Zappa. Cyndi Lauper. Ernie Hudson.
Oh yeah, Ernie Hudson was on there as a slime buster, I think is what they called him, instead of a Ghostbuster. Yeah, they did a parody of it. Yeah, nice.
Eve Plum, who played Jan on the Brady Bunch.
What a terrible name.
Maurice LaMarche played Inspector Gadget.
Okay, like on the show or on the whatever.
Yeah, I see a bunch of other names, but. Yeah, that's just a sampling of
the most
guest stars.
Noteworthy.
Patrick Duffy, the dad from Step by Step. Yeah. Oh, Danica McKellar from The Wonder Years.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. So what I wanted to ask before
was that Winnie Cooper?
Winnie Cooper, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's also a mathematician nowadays.
She was also. I also saw her in a really bad Hallmark movie at Jess's grandma's house. So. Got that going on because
paychecks.
Yeah, she watches a lot of bad like Lifetime Hallmark movies, and we watched one with Winnie Cooper in it, so it was interesting. But yeah, well, I mean, sometimes you got to make that movie money or that Lifetime money. Who knows? It might be a lot. What do you guys think of the artistic representation of Mario in the cartoon? I think compared to Zelda and Captain N, it's probably the best out of the three of them.
It's the best one, yeah. Of all the characters,
This is the one they put the most time and effort into. You can tell.
They even did the different mustaches. They did like Mario with the, with the two U's and the Luigi with the two big U's. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing I was thinking about because I watched Super Mario Bros. Super Show last out of the three of them, and I was like, well, it looks pretty good for the most part. I mean, Bowser looks a little weird, but at the time, we didn't really have a representation of Bowser. Aside from the 8-bit one, but I thought Mario and Luigi looked pretty good. I know there's that meme that you've probably seen online of Toad removing his hat in there, where he has just the dome under there, like the white dome, which is really weird. But aside from that, I mean, it's pretty good. Like the bosses, they look like they should. Like the 3-headed snake thing from Mario 2, which you mentioned, and Mauser, and the other turtle thing. I'm not really sure what that is, but those other ones, they look pretty good. The bird did too, so.
I thought Toad was a little bit insufferable. He would call the princess babe, and
there's a lot of weird
dropping dudes and
there's also I mean there's a lot of weird bad sexist stuff in there, like especially with Zelda, like Link is like a total piece of shit, which we're gonna get to in a second. But I mean it's very much like, hey babe, it's very weird. I mean it was the late 80s. I guess that was okay then, but still it's still not okay. I mean,
it's weird seeing it in kid shows and being like, ugh. Yeah. This might have affected people.
Did you find it weird that Princess Toadstool's hair is not blonde, or was her hair blonde at that time?
No, it was red.
Yeah, I mean, it was more like that. Like the actual sprite of hers wasn't blonde, right? At least I think even in Mario Odyssey it wasn't blonde when you turned into Bowser. Spoilers, the 2D Bowser stuff. Hopefully everybody who listens to this has beat Mario Odyssey and know that. When you possess Bowser and you go into the 2D sprite version, it turns into the Peach with the darker hair, so that's probably the older one.
Well, another thing is if you notice, they drew an artistic difference between Mario 1 and Mario 2 in the series. Mm-hmm. they give him like the little I don't know what you call it, the Mickey Mouse eyeballs, the original Felix Cat eyeballs, where there's
the
like
black
the
circle
missing.
with the little pie slice out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's like an interesting design choice. It's to give it like a classic cartoon look.
Which ones are the Mario 1 ones? Are they different ones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Or that's probably earlier in the season, right? Since we were watching 61, probably like way back in 1 through whatever.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because
Bowser is more of just a fatty, and he was wearing a costume in this one because they were in a movie parody.
Because he was a Nazi, yeah. It's basic. I mean, well, that goes with the theme of Raiders of the Lost Ark, though. I mean, he's always fighting Nazis, so it goes along with that. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
But you didn't have to stick that closely to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, it's a Nintendo cartoon.
I will say what I thought was
89.
really cool is
At
one point everybody's fighting, their showdown at the end of the episode, and everybody has whips because.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, Luigi has a bunch of plumber snakes in his overalls, and they can use those as whips. So all the 4 heroes have whips.
Trouser
and
snakes.
All the enemies have guns, but they're little tiny snakes spitting out rocks.
Oh, yeah, no, they do. Yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't even put it
so
together.
I like the attention to detail of giving everyone whips and guns.
Yeah, I didn't even put that together in my mind that they were holding guns that are snakes that are shooting fireballs out of them. That's awesome.
Which was especially funny seeing the snake holding a snake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I did find that funny, but I didn't even think of them as guns. I thought they just, because snakes shot fireballs, they were just holding them and shooting them at people, Yeah. For sure.
So they basically, it was everybody. It was like Indiana Jones was everybody, not just Indiana Joe.
Do you think they had to do the movie parody because they couldn't come up with enough episodes of just Mario saving Toadstool from Bowser in the Mushroom Kingdom? Is that why they kept going?
Why is Indiana Joe faceless?
Well, that still isn't explained at all. I don't know if that's a copyright thing.
Laziness.
If he had a face, then he might get sued.
Or a copyright thing where they had to delete it, yeah.
I guess, but it's just a really weird... They're like, nobody will notice. We'll just give him no face. We can't afford...
They don't mention it. They don't say anything about it. It's just, he has no face. I don't know.
We can't afford to have anybody animate his face, so he's just going to be faceless, and we're just not going to say anything about it. We already recorded that, so it's just going to do it. That's probably how they're going to do it. Is there anything else?
My take on why they did so many movie parodies on that show, and they did, because I actually had a DVD compilation that was just Mario movie memories or something like that with all the movie parodies. Was what they had to work from was so little as far as the story from the games. There was
oh, sure.
Remember at the time, of course, it was Mario 1, Mario 2.
And that's it.
And that was, I think, Mario Land on Game Boy. And none of those really offer any sort of story or anything. So the people who were creating these cartoons had to really make things up pretty much wholesale. So after a couple episodes, I think you're going to go to parodies and leaning on other things like that. So I think that's how that came about.
That's why they did the live action thing too with the guests, to extend the time.
Anything else to fill out 22 minutes.
Well, yeah, they got to make that. They got to make the time, pretty much. So that's pretty much how they do it.
This is the Triforce of Wisdom, Link. The evil wizard Ganon has the Triforce of Power. Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever. You must help me, Link.
Hey, for you, Zelda, anything.
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse me, princess.
I think we should move on to Zelda, though, if you guys don't have anything
Zelda.
to say. Just because we got
Zelda
a lot
coming up this Friday is our discussion on Zelda.
What do you mean? Like this when it's
edited? I mean, they would say it on every episode, take a look at what's happening on Zelda this Friday.
Oh, okay.
Zelda played on Fridays.
Yeah, no, they did that, actually. I forgot about that. They did on the Super Mario Super Show that I was watching. Mm-hmm. They said, stay tuned for the stuff that's happening on Friday for Zelda. And then, of course, there's no commercials, so it didn't show it. And then you come back. But yeah, let's talk about the Zelda cartoon. Probably one of the worst cartoons of all time. I think I remember the most, definitely the worst representation of Zelda and Link.
Yeah.
But I remember watching this with you in particular, and we even made a skit for my old Negative World show about the cartoons that Link. Do you remember that, where you wrote an interview for him that you wanted to do, where he's talked against Bush?
Actually, I just found it.
You found it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Give me a second, I can pull it up.
Oh, sure. We could. I remember that interview because there's a whole. Yeah. You actually found it? You have it still? That's insane.
Yeah, I have it.
Wow.
I was reorganizing my files the other day, and I found it. And actually, I sent you the logo.
Oh, that was what that was. Okay, I wasn't sure what that was.
Yeah, that was the Negative World logo that I did for you.
Oh, okay.
But I also found this. So, anyway, give me a second. I'll find it. Go on talking about something else.
Well, let's talk about everything that's fucked up in the Zelda cartoon. So, number one,
everything,
yeah. Let's go down
the whole cartoon.
Let's go down the list. Number one, the Triforce is missing part of the Tri.
The Biforce.
It's the Biforce. There's no
Biforce. So there's the courage. The
courage
the
is
Triforce of
wisdom and
courage that Link has, and then power Ganon has. Right. That's
and no wisdom.
There's no wisdom.
No, there's
no wisdom in the
there's
show. That makes sense. Perfect.
There's no courage.
There's a world without Solomon. Everybody.
No, there's no courage. It's wisdom and power. It's what it is, or knowledge and power. There's no courage. So courage is missing. There's only 2 Triforces, which is weird. But the Biforce, Link holds his sword with his right hand instead of his left hand. He has brown hair instead of blonde hair. He's also a total piece of shit.
Or pink.
And pink wasn't until Link to the Past. That wasn't out yet.
That's true.
But I know we mentioned this before on the show. Total side note. I would love for them to make an amiibo of pink-haired Link from Link to the Past. I would totally buy the shit out of that. From all the classic Zelda ones that they did. I know we mentioned it when it was announced, but I'm just saying that again. Nintendo, if you're listening, make a fucking pink-haired Link. But the hair's the wrong color. His sword's in the wrong hand. Total asshole. He's very much like Jereme and I. We both did a "Excuse Me, Princess" count, and he says that 4 times in the episode.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 4 also. So are you counting what he says in the intro also, or is that bringing it up to 5 and I missed one?
I just counted all the ones that I heard in my head. I kind of started doing it once I heard it 3 times. I was like,
it might have been in the intro.
So it might have been in the intro. Yeah,
towards the end.
I remember there was an old website that John sent me where it was called Please Excuse Me Princess.com or something.
Yeah, I went to that website hoping it would work, and it doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't.
Oh,
and it was just him saying it.
Well, excuse me, Princess.com.
And it was just him saying it over and over and over again until he
forever and never
starts being and then the world explodes. It's awful. Just like the show. But the reason that I picked Missing Link, that's the episode that we'll talk about today, is because Missing Link is the game that we've always wanted from Zelda, where Link becomes incapacitated and Zelda gets to be the hero of the episode.
Besides the CDI game.
Yeah, besides the CDI game. But that game might have not even been out by now. I put a thing on Twitter earlier about it, saying that I kind of like the idea of Zelda taking over and Link being incapacitated. But then I realized that Spirit Tracks did the exact same thing, but the other way around. It's the same thing. I put pictures of both of them where Zelda is the ghost, Link is the ghost. It's the same thing, except it's reversed. Do you really think that they got their idea from the Zelda cartoon for Spirit Tracks? That's crazy if they did. I mean, I hope they didn't. I hope they didn't see it, but yeah. But yeah,
the original track was just down the staircase in the Mario workshop. They're like, that's not enough train track. We have to do over the whole land.
Yeah. I don't know what you're getting out of there.
I don't either.
Yeah. But the reason that I remembered this from watching with John was because of the end part where Link and Zelda are about to kiss and Link falls into a hole. And that's it. It's not
and that's it.
Yeah, there's no
way can she lean down and kiss him anyway.
He's in a hole.
At all, because he's in a hole now.
Yeah, he falls in a hole, and that's their ending. And they're like, ha ha ha, you fell in a hole, I won't kiss you now. There's also a really funny...
And it's just a really awkward pause on that frame of animation where she's just laughing.
Yeah.
Right. She laughs a little too hard, a little too long. And it's enough to make you think, okay, your friend is in a hole. What are you going to do about it?
Leave him in there. I mean, honestly, when Link became a ghost, she should have stuck him in a fucking jar, where they keep the fairies, and just kept him in there forever, and just became the hero of the story. I mean, she could fire that sword on her own. She didn't need him to fucking tell her. Just saying, she took out all those fucking Stalfos without him, so put him in a fucking bottle. But I don't know if you noticed, when Link turned into a ghost and she's trying to, like, feel for him, she, like, puts her hands in his crotch and, like, moves around a bunch like this.
Yes, I noticed.
Did you see that?
For a really long time, she was waving her hand around at his crotch.
Yeah, she waves.
Boy, she wanted that crotch.
She waves her hands around where his dick would be if he was not a ghost. For a long time. It's pretty hilarious. I'm like, oh, what are you doing there, princess? What are you looking for? He's like, well, he's not solid. It's fine. That was a lot dirtier than I thought it was going to be. Or I didn't expect it to be that dirty. But hey, podcasting.
So we did an excuse me, princess count. I also did a kiss request count.
I didn't do that. I'm sure there's 20?
I thought it would be straight up just Link asking for kisses, but there's one. The first time when it happens is when he's a ghost, he just moves in for a kiss without even asking.
Oh yeah, she does actually.
She dodges out of the way.
She does actually try to kiss him when he's a ghost, and she's like, "Oh well."
Yeah, but
yeah,
but the first kiss request I thought would be him asking, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Dude just straight up tries to kiss her because he's a ghost and he thinks he can get away with it.
Yeah,
haha, funny. But so he asked her once after that, then he asked it again, and that's when the third time is when she does the fake kiss with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of female abuse in this episode. Very very much like, I don't know why she's hanging out with Link if he's just constantly trying to kiss her all the time. I mean,
and then,
what is there? Yeah,
then the next time he doesn't really ask, but he just says, "Oh, well, then when this happens, you're going to kiss me later, right?" And she's just like, "Okay, yeah, whatever."
Yeah.
And then, then the last time is when she kisses him and he falls into the hole.
I always
thought... So I've got five requests, one which is non-consensual, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, what do you think about like Zelda's outfit? Like she, I always thought it was interesting that she's not wearing a dress or anything. She's actually wearing like a very capable outfit, where she can fight people with or whatever, like with her
I think they really paint Link as the doofus of the story. Like he's usually just fucking up like Inspector Gadget does. Like she's kind of the penny to his Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, where she's always saving him, even though he always wants her to believe that he is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about Ganon?
I think they were trying to make her like a strong female character. They did a pretty good job, putting her in the pants, give her an outfit that she could actually like fight in and move around in and everything. But I noticed in the episode that we watched that the strength was kind of like undercut when he said, "Oh, you throw like a girl or something like that."
Yeah, she says, "I am a girl." Yeah,
you're swinging that sword like a girl.
Swing that sword like a girl, and she said, "I am a girl," and it was kind of like left at that.
Mm-hmm.
Without really I think if it were made today, there would be some kind of lesson there that was missing in this old episode from 30 years ago.
Yeah, I would hope. I don't know. I mean, the way things are going nowadays, that might not be there. But I mean, you would hope it would be nice for them to be like, "Hey, don't be a dick." Well, I remember when Super Bowl a while back, they did a whole commercial about like the whole like a girl thing, where it's like. Was all about that, like that's a dumb thing to say, and
who was
girls can throw better than you.
Like, I wouldn't be offended if someone told me I was like a girl or whatever, because that's not something to be ashamed of, or it was like if I dress like a woman and someone makes fun of me, I won't. I don't know. It was something along those lines where you shouldn't be ashamed if you're compared to a woman. Is essentially what he was saying.
It sounds like something he would say. Iggy Pop says all sorts of things.
Yeah, but pretty much right after that, when he tells her she swings the sword like a girl, she's fighting 4 Stalfos. She kills 3 of them, and there's one more that comes up behind her and grabs her, and Link just stands there with his hands on his hips and just watches her, or like his hands behind his back and just kind of stands there and watches.
Yeah, the one that puts her in the headlock. Or the
and she's just like, "What the hell are you doing, Link?" She doesn't say that, but like, "Why are you just standing there watching me, like, held by this Stalfos?" And he's like,
"I like
hold
it."
on a second. Right. Then he goes around the back and spooks the undead skeleton.
Yeah, that part was kind of funny because they establish earlier there's a fairy that comes up to Link, and the fairy can't see Link, so they're like, "Oh, so Zelda's the only one that can see like Ghost Link." But then later Stalfos can, so it's kind of like I thought that was kind of funny because they didn't establish that like anybody else could see him other than her. But then he could hear him even, because like the fairy couldn't hear Link either. Somebody like scares him and he's like, "Oh," and then he gets shot. But I mean, so that's what they end up doing. They dispatch that last skeleton is to
to scare it, and then when it's running away, Zelda shoots it in the back.
Shoot it in the back.
Not the most dignified moment in the show, but it worked. But I wanted to point that out that I thought was kind of interesting. Link just like kind of stood there. This is very lighthearted. It's a children's show, but
but still, I mean, it's still kind of like
overanalyzing
not
it
great.
when I was watching it for the show.
Now, I didn't ask this about the first one, but did you guys? Well, I know Jereme said that you had recorded it, but did you guys actually watch this like in your youth when you were a kid?
I did,
because I never really did. Like, I didn't really see any of it until I watched it with you later, John. Because I don't remember watching it as a kid. I was more of a He-Man Transformers guy.
I got excited for Fridays because that's when Zelda played.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would watch it. I remember it came on at like 3:30 just after school.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely remember the Zelda ads and feeling like, oh, Fridays are special because Zelda is on.
Oh, okay, that's how it works. And the show was on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Like 4 days a week, 5 days a week.
Yeah, and so it was, just in case we weren't clear, it was the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, and then every Friday
they would
do the live action of Mario, but the cartoon would be Zelda.
Okay, yeah, because there's only 13 Zelda episodes total versus
only 13
versus 65 of Super Mario Super Show. So that's what's going on with that. But yeah, I never really. I mean, when I was younger, like I wasn't really into like Mario or Zelda. I played crappy games. Well, I played like Batman, but Batman's not a crappy game. But I played mostly like licensed games and Anticipation and stuff like that. So I didn't really. And I played like Mario with my sisters, but they were mean. Like I would pause like when I was jumping and kill me because I was second player and all that. So I wasn't really a huge fan of Mario until later. So I wasn't
later on.
Yeah, so I wasn't really into it in the NES times. But I don't really. I mean, I remember the cereal vaguely, and I don't know if I ever actually got it because I wasn't really into those games. I was more into like He-Man, He-Man and Transformers and Turtles later, stuff like that. So it was kind of more, and like Pee-wee's Playhouse, like that stuff. It was what I was really into. But I kind of missed.
I was into Mario and stuff from the beginning, so I watched all the cartoons. And yeah, I do remember watching.
I mean, I remember seeing the Wizard in the theater, but that was after.
You got one up on me. I did not see the Wizard in the theater.
I mean, actually, that was around the same time. They're both 89, so I don't know. But what else? What else do you guys want to say about Zelda?
Well, what about the time when
I found the script, but it's in Final Draft format. Do you have Final Draft? I can send it to you.
Oh no, is it really in Final Draft? I felt like you. Oh, it's on a disc. It's not like you don't have a physical copy.
No, I have it on my Google Drive. I transferred all my files to Google Drive. So, but it's on there. I can pick out a way to get it, but I can't do it right now.
Oh, that's fine. Well, that's an appetizer for a future episode. We'll do that.
Future episode, yeah.
We'll do that. Probably not next week because John will be out fighting monsters in Disneyland, so Disney World, so he won't be here. But you have to fight those animatronic people. They'll come after you. But
I think one thing worth noting with the Zelda episodes before we're done is that everything goes into the evil jar. So if something dies in the Zelda cartoon universe, even if it's Link or Zelda, they get transported to the evil jar in Ganon's throne room. So that's why, like, as Link and Zelda are going through and fighting and they're killing the different enemies, they're like getting transported to the evil jar where Link's body is. And so at one point when Link's spirit finally gets to the jar, Zelda's like providing a distraction and Link repossesses his body. And just as he does, there's a skeleton standing over him saying, "Ooh, nice hat." Like he just noticed Link was wearing a hat finally.
Nice hat.
And he reaches down to grab his hat and Link wakes up. And it totally looks like Link just totally grabs his boobs. I know he's a skeleton, he doesn't have boobs. But it totally looks like Link just like
grabs
totally
his rib cage.
Something was going on with these animators in this episode.
And he says, quote, "Give me a bone, bonehead." And then there's a really long, like
nice.
Awkward, like
that would be my line of the
probably
show too.
Like 15 seconds of them standing there and kind of looking at each other. And then nothing even happens. Like for some reason the jar breaks. A bunch of pink stuff comes out of it, which I assume is sand or whatever. Kills everybody or washes everyone away except for the 4 people that are restraining Zelda, and just makes it really easy to end the episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
But right after that awkward, like, "Give me a bone, bonehead."
I got a bone to pick with you. Well, that's from Army of Darkness, but it just
but as Ganon's being washed away, he says, "I'm gonna get you for this, Link. I'll get you." You know,
I'll get
it's
you, my
that
pretty.
Classic. Like they just let the enemy get away at the end because they have to be able to have it the next episode.
I did.
You didn't get me for the last 10 things.
Yeah, I did some research on the guy who did the voice of Ganon. Actually, he did a ton of shit. Like he was on like the X-Men cartoon, and he had like a million voice actor credits. So I thought that was pretty rad. He was on like Alf. He was on a bunch of the animated Alf stuff, which I thought was hilarious.
That's good to hear.
But yeah, he was big. He did a lot of fucking shit.
There is one point where they zoom in on Ganon's face, and he just kind of like does this laugh, and I'm like, why did they even bother with that scene? Like, was that one person's job to animate that scene? Because like the animation's really weird, and like it looks like they were trying to make it look super detailed, but it's just weird. And I might throw a clip of it on the preview that I do for this episode. I put a bunch of stars by it because that scene was strange.
Yeah, it was Len Carlson was the voice of Ganon, but he did like
Len Carlson.
He did Street Fighter 3, the Third Strike show. He did a lot of video game shit. X-Men, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. He was on the Beetlejuice series. Did 32 episodes of the Beetlejuice cartoon. He was
that was a good show.
Swamp Thing as well. Just saying, he has a badass. He also played Ganon, Captain N, of course. Police Academy, the series. Commander Harris. Alf. Cops.
Was he in Ghostbusters?
He was in Cops.
Real Ghostbusters? Garbage
Pail Kids, RoboCop, Dinosaucers, Hello Kitty's Furry Tale Theater. He was in like fucking everything. He has 70 credits. I guess that's not that much, but some of those credits are like 50 episodes. So if they multiply it by like every episode he was in, it's probably like 300 credits. But it was just cool to see that he was in all this other shit. So he was a fairly well-known voice actor.
I forget when Ganon showed up in Captain N. Was he like the same design and everything? Do you remember?
I don't know. He was actually also in that really bad CGI Donkey Kong Country show from 1997 to 2000.
Oh, wow.
Crystal Coconut?
He played Crusher and Critter from the Donkey Kong Country episode. He was in 4 episodes from season 1 and season 2. I don't know. There was a whole show of it. I never watched. I remember you saw some of it, or you bought it for cheap or something, Jeremy, but I didn't see any of it, thankfully. But is there anything else you guys want to say before we move on to Captain N?
No. I think that's about it.
About Zelda? Other than, excuse me.
Other than at least the soundtrack was great.
To Zelda? Yeah, that's right.
Another thing I'd like to say is, excuse me. Maybe do that like 5 more times.
No, that's enough. We got our count for the episode.
Wait, did I mention that?
Well, excuse me.
Well, no. There was one point where Link's like, I thought it was like maybe a reference to Lord of the Flies, where he's like, "Excuse me, princess."
Was it? That was a reference to nothing.
When my father disappeared and Mother Brain tried to take over Videoland, our only hope lay in an ancient prophecy that a great warrior from another world would come to our rescue. I admit, I was a bit skeptical when Kevin showed up, but now I don't know how we'd ever get along without him.
Anyway, so let's go to what's probably the worst episode out of all of them, I think, or the worst show out of all of them, or just the most like what the fuck show, Captain N, the Game Master. Which this was a show that I definitely saw nothing of, and actually really hated when John showed it to me, mostly because of its awful representation of Mother Brain from Metroid. That really pissed me off because I love Metroid, and Mother Brain is just like so wrong in this show. Like,
you didn't like the Feed Me Seymour actor?
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
That is the same actor, right?
Is it?
The same actor using the same voice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I've got written in my notes. Like, is that the same actor?
Yeah, it's like
is that Audrey too?
It's like a drag queen, Fat Albert sort of voice on there. Like I don't know. It's strange. The face is very weird. Doesn't look like a brain at all.
Mother Brain was probably the strangest choice they could have made for a villain. Out of all the Nintendo villains,
they're all weird. Like her whole fucking team is weird. So let's go down the line here. We got Mother Brain looking nothing like Mother Brain with a face.
Looking more like a snot like a string of snot.
Yeah, looking like some weird like stretched out snot. We also got fucking Blue King Hippo with like the scariest
blue with giant nipples.
Yeah, with the scariest tits ever. Like his
big old milk dud nips.
His nipples, his nipples are like almost half the size of his tits. It's insane, and he has a really
like
weird like.
Plates.
He has a weird nose, like, under his lip, too. Like, did you see that? That didn't make any sense either.
Yeah.
I was, Jess and I were talking about it when we were watching it, and I was like, do you think this is some sort of weird, like, censorship thing? Like, you can have, like, a half-naked guy unless he's a different color type of thing? You know, like Evil Dead 2, like, the R version, like, has blood in different colors, like, that type of thing. I was wondering if it's, like, if you make him blue, then it's okay to have like a shirtless person on there because he's not like a human. He's like a shirtless alien because he's blue skinned. I don't know. I thought maybe that was a weird
Could be.
thing.
I don't know. But then you look at some of the other design choices for the characters and you just think, all right, these people played the games maybe for 10 minutes and then went off and made a cartoon about it.
If even, right?
I think they made him blue because hippo and
because hippos are blue?
Yeah. He's a hippo.
I don't feel like
they also
there
gave
was
him
a
teeth. They gave him fangs. You noticed that, right?
What? They gave him fangs?
They gave him fangs. They gave him, like, sharp teeth.
Yeah, he looks really weird.
So they were trying to make him, like, an actual hippo man instead of just going on,
you know, like hippos,
the already well-illustrated figure from the game.
Yeah. That's such hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Hippo.
But,
but Eggplant Wizard looks okay from Kid Icarus.
He looks good.
He's probably the best looking of the team, I think. But it's a very strange team. But I mean, yeah. So, what is the origin story of Captain N? He like.
So yeah, we should say he was playing.
He's playing a game with the NES Advantage
episode.
He was playing
Punch Out.
He was playing against King Hippo,
fighting King Hippo,
and he had the NES Advantage, the joystick thing there. I saw him rocking that. And
his dog was hanging near him.
Yeah, there's a live action intro of him playing the game, and him and his handkerchief dog get pulled into the TV. But the other, the girl that's there, she's not from his universe. Is she from a game or?
She's not from any game. She's like the generic whatever
princess.
Yeah. What was her name again?
I don't remember. I don't remember her name.
Princess
Lana or something.
Yeah, Princess Lana.
Yeah. She imagine like Princess Toadstool, but in a skimpier outfit.
Like
that's about it.
Teaching you how to do 80s dance exercise, whatever they call that.
Jazzercise?
Yeah.
Aerobics.
Jazzercising.
Yeah.
So that's the premise. He gets sucked into video land because he's the game master. I guess he was the best Nintendo player. And but then he joins up with the team. So he's Captain N. He joins up with the team that includes Kid Icarus, Megaman,
not Pit,
Simon Belmont.
Yeah, the worst Simon Belmont ever. Like wearing like he has like the furry collar and he's bronzed and he has a giant chin. He's a total D-bag.
He's like Super Macho Man from Super Punch Out with.
Yeah, no, he is. Yeah, you're right. He totally looks like Super Macho Man. But he's like, I'm like, you can't slay Dracula like
maybe
that.
Combined
who are you?
Yeah, Egon from Ghostbusters.
He's like, you're definitely not a vampire slayer or a vampire killer even.
Yeah. And then the character that was added in the episode that we're going to talk about today, Game Boy, was the final member of the team.
Yeah, we watched
giant sentient Game Boy.
Yeah, so we watched Game Boy, another episode I remember watching with John, the Game Boy episode. And weirdly enough, Captain N, the Game Master, had 2 full seasons. And Game Boy was the first episode of the second season. So, what the fuck? People actually cared about this show. And they even go into Burger Time for no reason in this episode, which that was kind of weird. Like, they just end up in the Burger Time game, getting chased by Eggplant Wizard and all that. Yeah, and Simon's wearing, like, an egg suit. Like, he looks like a fried egg. Like, you know.
He looks in his vanity mirror and says, "Oh no, I've got egg on my face."
He is egg. Egg is his face and everything. Yeah,
and,
he was.
Mega Man is a pickle because he's green.
Yeah, Mega Man's green. He doesn't have. I don't see a Mega Buster on there either, right? Does he ever shoot? He doesn't have a handgun. I mean, he doesn't have like his.
No, he's got regular hands.
Yeah, which is weird. He doesn't have the hand cannon, which is just goes completely against everything that is Mega Man. And he's like an angry old man, also, which is
he's like
strange.
2 feet tall, and he's
like, "Hey,
talks
let's
like
fight."
he's like got like one of those throat things, like you smoke too many cigarettes.
Tracheotomy.
And he puts mega before random things.
He's like,
Mega.
We're in a lot of mega
Icarus.
trouble.
Yeah.
Pit.
He's like,
Says Icarus after everything.
Yeah.
He'll be like,
I get
"We're in
check. I get a
trouble
check
with
every time I
Maximus."
say Mega Man.
And then, he'll say, Princess, what do you say? Your Highness instead of Your Highness.
Oh, Icarus does. I would love to see like a joke, video of it somewhere, of like an animation of like Mega Man being like, or Kid Icarus just talking about like getting money every time they say whatever. It's like, yeah, they pay me the extra money for saying Mega on everything. That's why I keep doing it. I'm too old to fight Dr. Wily. Oh yeah, Dr. Wily's one of the villains too. Forgot he's in there too, and you don't really see him until towards the end, but he's
Mother Brain's right hand doctor.
He's got a thick German accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as what I ever thought Wily would sound like, I guess. Yeah, it's a really weird ragtag
like a Nazi
team
doctor?
there. You didn't think Dr. Wily was a Nazi when you were playing the game? I mean, I never did. But,
well, yeah. I think of the bunch, Captain N was probably my favorite.
Yeah. You're
just because
you bring out a lot of references to Captain N, or you have in past episodes. So
yeah, he was my favorite just because
there
was a sense that anything goes. You never knew what game they were going to talk about, what game they were going to bring up and bring to life. So it was very exciting, especially because at that time, games just didn't have, as I kind of said before, games just didn't have a whole lot of backstory. And the best you could go off was the pixels that you saw on the screen, or maybe
except for like
the little story in the instruction book.
Except for like Mega Man and Castlevania both had backstories in the intros, but whatever. We just throw that to the side, throw it to the wind, whatever.
Well, like one thing that we didn't mention, it's towards the beginning of the episode, but they're fighting. They're fighting the Eggplant Wizard and King Hippo, and the Eggplant Wizard shooting ears of corn at them, and they turn that into popcorn.
Yeah.
Somehow. They use that to defeat the enemy by filling their engine with popcorn.
Wasn't there a part where like food was getting kicked out of Eggplant Wizard also? Like there's a part where
he's
anytime
like he gets hit, that's the constant throughout the show. Anytime he gets hit, vegetables fly out of him.
Yeah, that was weird. I remember seeing that and I'm like, what's going on there? I don't know what's up with that. What is
they
that?
They use his vegetable ability as like ammunition also.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Captain N is a very strange game, or very strange show about games. I
would like to see somebody make a Captain N video game.
Oh, I bet you would. You would love. I don't think anybody has any love for it. I mean, you can find all of these shows and episodes on YouTube, and when you see shit on YouTube for free that you can watch everything, nobody gives a shit. Like nobody gives a shit about that show. If they did, they would put out a fucking copyright thing and take it off of there, but people give no shits about Super Mario Super Show, Zelda, or fucking Captain N. So it's obviously Nintendo's not thinking about making a game about that guy. They probably don't even fucking know who he is or even care, like what he was at the time, They're like, Captain N, fuck that dude. I was trying to figure out, I wonder how many Mega Men had been out by that time. So by the time Captain N was out, Mega Man 2 were definitely out, maybe Mega Man 3. So by that time, I think there was a pretty well-established lore to Mega Man that they could probably pull from. But I don't think they really tried to at all. I think they're like, let's just get the people sort of looking like him. Not even the same color on Mega Man.
He was Grass Man.
Yeah, right. Well, that would
Man or whatever.
I don't think they even know the different. I mean, I haven't seen enough Captain N to know. Did any of the other robots appear in there? Was a Lek Man in there or Woodman or anything like that? Did they ever see them? Did Dr. Wily ever bring any of his robots in?
Actually, Shovel Knight's in there at one point.
Yeah, right? It was way, way ahead of time. I mean, he was in fucking Ukulele. He could be in anything. So, yeah, Captain N, for some reason, Game Boy shows up to represent the king or something like that, right? And he gets turned
He's the most powerful computer in the video game world.
Yeah. And he has arms, which is super weird. But he gets roided out at some point, and he becomes this thinner version, longer version of Game Boy. When he
starts out as being a troublemaker and ruins everything.
Because doesn't he get Frankenstein by the bad guys? They hook him up to a table or something like that, and he becomes
that's
elongated.
After the fact. But when he first shows up, the king sends him in his stead because he's they're trying to rescue the king, the princess's dad, and the king is like, I'd rather send Game Boy. He's been like a son to me.
He's portable.
Yeah. So they
He's
send the
important.
Game Boy instead of sending the King back, which probably messes up the plot for the whole first season. But yeah, they send Game Boy instead, and then antics.
King
ensue.
doesn't think to mention in that message that it's like a giant robot thing, and not an actual person. And then they're surprised. Oh, he's like a machine. You think he would mention that?
He is the machine. Yeah, Game Boy. And what was it? The King, doesn't he refer to Game Boy? He says like he's like my son, or like he's like the son I never had. And I'm like, isn't that your daughter there? Like you're saying this like in front of her? It's like he's like, this is the kid I really wanted. This Game Boy that I have here, like her. I don't care about her, but this Game Boy, real kid.
He's like a son to her, or a son to him. So yeah, when the Game Boy shows up, she's ready to welcome her new baby brother.
Yeah, right. But it's a lot of the show was pretty ridiculous. Like we were saying earlier, there's a song in there. They do like the Monster Mash parody, like after was that before?
It's called "Do the Freak."
Yeah. So
it's totally unique.
Yeah, and they do that. They do that in like every episode. There's always a different song. Because I was looking, there's like a Frankenstein one where they do Weird Science, like a version of Weird Science of Oingo Boingo, which is cool. And there was actually, when I was looking through the episodes, apparently there's an episode where Simon gets hit in the head and he wakes up thinking he's Donkey Kong. Like, that's got to be a ridiculously bad episode. Yeah, with Simon Belmont. But yikes. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about Captain N. I mean, I think it's a ridiculous.
That just reminded me, Donkey Kong was kind of like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man of Captain N.
So he was giant?
Where they used him sparingly, but when they used him, it was like, whoa, and he's like gigantic. And like he was like the cool character that would show up every once in a while. When he showed up, it was special.
Yeah, it's like it just popped in there. I was trying to think of something like harmless, and then Donkey Kong showed up. Kid Camp and all that. Yeah, Captain N's a strange one. I mean, it's I don't know. What do you guys have to say about it? I feel like I've said everything that I can say about Captain N.
I think the episode ends weird. Obviously they go and they rescue Game Boy from Mother Brain, and it's very similar to the Mario episode we just talked about, where the Zelda episode we just talked about, where at the end, like by destroying the lair, they're also like sending the enemies away to be free. So Mother Brain like spins away into like a portal, screaming, "I'll get you next time," or whatever. So to set it up for the next episode. But like the very end of the episode, like Simon Belmont is finally accepted the Game Boy and says, "Oh, we're like brothers," or whatever, and he gives him a hat, and the Game Boy kind of laughs, but there's no sound.
Oh yeah, no, he gives him that weird.
And that's the end of the episode.
He gives him the weird hat, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, the episode ends with the Game Boy laughing silently. It's almost sinister if you want to look at it.
Yeah, the Game Boy does look kind of sinister the way he laughs at you, and his arms are so fucked up. I know I've said that before, but they're so strange where they just come out and they're just like, wah, wah. I don't know. But yeah, Captain N. Is there anything else you guys want to say about Captain N?
Not really.
I like it. If you haven't seen it, give it a try.
It's all on
you. You want to see just like a whole bunch of random Nintendo games thrown together and strange interpretations of Nintendo games. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, 1990. It was Captain N started in 1990, so it was a later one. But yeah,
showed off a lot of the peripherals.
Yeah, right. And
he had
pushed that Game Boy.
He had his magic controller on his belt buckle, which ever since then I've wanted a real Nintendo belt buckle.
Well, Jereme made one,
but like a real
real one with the buttons that actually work.
Okay. Oh.
That can make me jump like 20 feet, just like Captain N.
Oh, well, Jereme made one. I remember that. He put a little hook on there and made one.
I jumped really high.
Yeah, you hit that A button a bunch and you jumped all over.
That's why I broke all my legs back in 7.
When you were landing, you were trying to land. You broke everything on the way down. Yeah, Captain N. Like, if you're totally interested in it from listening to us, like I said, you can find all these episodes on YouTube for completely free. So you can just watch all of this and sit back, watch 2 seasons of fucking Captain N, and wonder what the hell happened after that. You'll probably wonder what the reality of games is after you see that. You'll be like, man, I thought those Castlevania games were serious, but no, they're not. Fucking bronzed ass Simon. Didn't even know. But yeah, if you guys, if you said enough about Captain N, I think we should wrap it up because we're getting kind of long on the episode here. But this has been NintenDomain Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jeremy Mikowski.
John Litter.
And, you can find us at NintenDomainPodcast.com, or you can find us at YouTube.com/Fingmater, Fingmater. Listen to those Labo songs I put on there. Like, people are really digging them. Definitely check out that complete one. It's pretty funny. And the car one's awesome, too. And you can also catch me on Twitch streaming. I stream like every Thursday and Sunday. I'm going to try to start streaming on Wednesdays, too, now. Probably in exchange for Sunday, but I don't know. But this Friday night, after you hear this, you can catch me and Jereme doing some Splatoon Splatfest, so that'll be fun. We'll get to fight for the goodness of destroying Leonardo. It'll be fun. So yeah, check that out, twitch.tv/NintenDomain Podcast. You can also email us if you want to talk to us about how much you love Captain N, or how much we, didn't see the side of Link and how he's really right in the equation of his abusiveness towards Zelda. You can send us an email at nintendomainpodcast@gmail.com and just let us know all about that. But, if you download, you can download this podcast from any sort of podcast app, of course, and give us a review on iTunes. We love seeing that stuff. Let us know that you like the show and all that. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
See ya.
Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now. You got it! It's the Mario! Do the Mario, swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario, take one step, and then again, let's do the Mario all together now.